When was the last time you went to the store to buy a physical copy of a video game for your computer? 10 years ago? 15 years ago? One thing's for sure, physical releases for the PC is pretty much dead these days, and for the games still available physically, things aren't looking too good. Here are a few examples. I'll take a look at a couple of physical games from the early 2010s, arguably the last few years when physical games were still somewhat common before fading away into oblivion. Here's Civilization V. The copyright date indicates that this box was probably produced around 2010. I'm pleasantly surprised on the very detailed manual included. This is something we don't get with digital games. Upon inserting the DVD into the computer, we are first prompted to install Steam. And I cannot proceed any further without an internet connection. I am not connecting my Windows XP machine onto the internet, and because of this, I will not be able to play this game that I supposedly own physically. I get that there is online multiplayer available with this game, but that shouldn't mean I should be online all the time to run the software, as there is an offline single-player mode. I would assume the reason an internet connection and a Steam account are necessary is for anti-piracy purposes. But if that is the only reason, this is not the best solution to this problem. Steam may not last forever. One day in the distant future, their servers will shut down permanently. Assuming this disc survives until then, will you be able to play Civ 5 with it? There are offline solutions to anti-piracy. Don't get me wrong, I love Steam. I think it is a great online service. But that is the difference. Steam is an online service, not necessarily an offline one. Future update, I tried to install the game on my main computer. It appears that the disk is one-time use only. I'm unable to install the game because it has been installed by the previous owner before. Well, there goes resellability out the window. Here, let's try Angry Birds. Yep, Angry Birds for the PC. Copyright date suggests a 2011 release. Installation was smooth. Everything went well until it was time to activate the full game. Upon entering the serial code, it needs to talk to a server to validate. Wow. Now let's take a look at some games from back when physical releases were common. A good example on what to do is SimCity 4, released in 2003. The installation and entire gameplay can be done without any internet connection. It also comes with a detailed booklet. And the anti-piracy measure? As simple as inserting Disk 2 into the optical drive before launching the game. Here's another game, Microsoft Pinball Arcade, released in 1998. It doesn't have a big manual, but once again the installation and gameplay can be performed entirely offline. One of the reasons why people would want to buy a physical copy is to own the media for a long time, as opposed to a digital release which may be tethered to an online service which will die one day or another. Consoles seem to do this well, although my understanding of consoles may be outdated as I don't play much modern console games. Nevertheless, one thing that I can be sure is that with modern consoles, you get both physical and digital options. And from my understanding, the physical games will work offline. Why can't we have this luxury on PC these days? For all the people who may be interested but don't currently have an optical drive, they are dirt cheap and take about 2 minutes to install in your tower. Another advantage of a physical release is how you can resell your games or simply give them away to your friends when you don't want them anymore. You can't do that with online platforms. And what about thorough manuals? You're not gonna have those with digital games. All in all, I am just disappointed that physical releases for the PC are non-existent these days. The last few years of physical PC games during the early 2010s require an internet connection, which defeats one advantage of a physical release. You may not even be able to give your games to your friends due to them being single-use. And today, when a game actually has a physical release once in a blue moon, it doesn't even come with a disc, which defeats the entire purpose. Anyways, thanks for listening to my rant regarding the lack of physical media these days. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.